Is that better? Why does it do that? Auto run is on the program. It just doesn't want to connect for some reason. That's weird. Anyway. Yeah, so I have a submission tomorrow. Not much. I said hi, and I said I decided to make this a work stream rather than work on my brother's model because I have this submission that I have to do that should have really been submitted earlier this week, but I didn't get to finish it because of other things that were pressing. And I want to make sure it gets submitted tomorrow. Oh, shit. That's not 100% correct. I could fix it, but I don't want to. Have I eaten? I had a late lunch, so technically no, I have not eaten. Why am I coughing? Yeah, I'm not starving. I'm fine. I'll definitely get up at some point to go grab food and feed the cat. It's a little early to feed her. If I feed her too early, then she gets annoying at night, like when we're trying to sleep. Everyone's coughing? Who else is coughing? One of my coworkers went home sick today. But I wasn't in the office, so hopefully I didn't catch it. Oh no, you are and your parents too? You seem to be having like an extended winter over where you are, which kind of sucks. Though, I can't say very much is different here. Yesterday we had a lovely day. It was 68 degrees out. It was quite nice. And then, today, some areas around me woke up with like 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. I was just laying down for a little bit, and this is the post-getting up cough of being a chronically congested person. Okay, windows and doors. I'm gonna have to do at least some fake glass to make this look a little bit more realistic. How do I do this? Where can I pull a good section of siding? Here. I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating on the siding, because I actually missed a huge chunk of it under here. How did you feel about your PSAT test? Do you feel confident that you did better? Or good? You feel like you did trash. Oh no, why? What did you struggle with? Oh no. You went back and you were looking at the questions? Or that you returned to the ones that you weren't sure about, you mean? Well, that's good. You should take your time because most kids will get questions wrong because they don't read things fully. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. That was my problem, is I would try to go through it quickly and then I wouldn't read the questions like 100% and then I would screw them up. Like, reading comprehension is such a big part of taking the PSAT. I mean, if just when we were doing the practice tests, or the practice questions, like, most of the times that we got it wrong were because we didn't read it correctly. Okay, that's better. I fixed the siding. You were hungry! You didn't have a snack before you went in there? You went in there cold turkey? That's so bold. I would never. Well, that's okay. This is still a practice test. Your bus was late so you couldn't grab breakfast? Aw, that stinks. This is a practice test. Do you think you did better than the last time? A bit? Okay. Well, that's good. So you still think that you did, like, super bad in math? Yeah, but I know you're capable of more than that. Well, you only had a couple days to study with us. So if you want to, we can definitely do more once you get your test scores. Then again, it will be during the summer when you get your, or close to summer when you get your test scores, so I don't know if you want to do more, but I'm totally down to do more. Like I said, I'm totally down to do more, and if you want to improve more on your score, then I'm down to help. Okay, I need to do windows on this one. Let's paint the door this color. Oh, that's good. If it's only gonna be a couple weeks for your scores. I mean, if it says a few weeks usually means like 2 to 4. I did see your chip bag. What is your chip bag? It was in a foreign language. No clue! Well, that's not very good. The only place near me that sells unusual chips is there's a ramen place that sells like some of the most wild chip flavors that I've seen in a while. I got one that was like a lamb kebab chip flavor. It's pretty good. But I'm not privy to paying $4 for a bag that's not the snack size bag, but like the next size up, you know? It's not that big. Paying $4 or $5 for a bag of chips is not it. But it was a fun experience for like a one-time thing. Unfortunately, the ramen places around me are like kind of expensive. Like unreasonably so, in my opinion. Like, I don't even add tip a lot of the time because, you know, it's a fast food place. But even without the tip, the ramen is like... Even without the tip, the ramen is like $15. And it's like, that's expensive for a bowl of water and noodles. And like, very small pieces of meat. Taiwanese chips? I think the ones that I got were like... It was like a barbecue skewer chip. I think it was like the Korean, the ones that I got. Oh god, excuse me, I must blow my nose. Barbecue is a good flavor. You know, I don't know if you've ever had them, but growing up, when we were in school, some of my favorite chips were, what were they? I think they were Lay's chips. The twists? The honey barbecue twists? Those are so good. Yeah, I really like the honey barbecue twists. The honey barbecue twists were my addiction for a while when I was in high school. Okay, that's concrete. This I have to draw in because I'm an idiot and I forgot it. Let's do the concrete over here. You get off on Friday? I don't get off on Friday. I wish I get off on Friday. But, yeah, I'm sure you're pooped. Big tests are scary. I don't get off on Friday, however, I, finally, quote-unquote, popped the question to my boss to talk about, further employment and compensation at the company, so... We'll see where that takes me. But considering the conversations that have been had over the past few weeks, I think I'll be alright. I think my boss is eagerly awaiting for this conversation as well. He wants to secure my interests at this job, which I also wish to secure. Oh yeah, you had a lot to do this week. I didn't even know about half of the other stuff. But yeah, so I told my boss I would treat him to lunch on Friday, and we were gonna sit and have a conversation. I don't know, maybe it results in a promotion, maybe it results in just a little bit of a raise, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Concrete is filled. I wasn't always a great worker, I will be honest, Pizza. I tend to go through cycles of, like, doing really well and then being completely unmotivated, but I would say this is probably the longest stretch of me feeling motivated. Like, it's been over 6 months. Probably since, like, August, so almost a year, or 9 months, almost 9 months now. 3 years as of February. So quite a while. But yeah, so that's kind of my biggest fatal flaw, is that I kind of go through bouts of being super motivated and then, like, I'm, like, completely disinterested and don't want to do anything. And that's the struggle for me, because, like, when I hit that point, it's so hard for me to get out of that, but I have not hit that point in a long time, which is really good. And I think I finally learned the nuances of how to talk to my boss in an effective way, and, like, when to avoid talking to him, because he's a very sensitive, emotional person. And I think I've finally learned how to talk to him without getting myself in trouble for things that I shouldn't be in trouble for, and also learning to avoid his more volatile or emotional moments. Yeah, I had a similar job to this before, but my last boss was, like, super duper toxic. Like, if there was ever a job to constitute being called a hostile work environment, it was my last job. Because that boss would yell at you for the dumbest things. Like, I got yelled at by that boss, like, an example for you, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. My ex-boss yelled at me once because I purchased something that was $27.16, which is not very expensive. Mind you, it is part of my job description to buy things. But he yelled at me because when I say yell at, I don't mean, like, hey, don't do that again. I mean, he yelled at me till he was red-faced and, like, vein popping out levels of angry. He yelled at me because I didn't ask him permission to buy the item first. Meanwhile, earlier that day, the crew's like, we need this item now. Please get it for us. And the easiest way I could do it was ordering it online now, because there was nowhere in the area that had the item. And he yelled at me over $27. You know, meanwhile, had I not gotten the item in the order when I did, it would have delayed our job at least one day, waiting for him to give me approval, because he wasn't even in the office to give approval, which doesn't help anybody. So if I had waited for him, it would have delayed our job by a day, which, if you think about it, costs us thousands of dollars. Because if the job site has to stop because of one stupid thing, that means all of those guys have to go find other things to work on, or be moved to a different job site, or they can only do so much on their job site. Yeah, my last boss was a certified a-hole, and honestly, even that being an a-hole aside, he knew jack shit about construction. Literal zero about construction. So he would come to me and my coworker, who is the same coworker at this job, because he's actually the one who got me this job. But he would come to us and he'd be like, "Why is it taking so long to do X, Y, and Z?" And we'd be like, "Because it takes so long time to do that." It's like, "I don't believe you. It shouldn't take this long to do that." It's like, how would you know how long it takes? You don't know how to build things, 1. 2, you don't have a design degree. 3, you've never touched AutoCAD or Photoshop. So how do you know how long it takes to do something? Meanwhile, I'm the fastest CAD drafter in the office. The next best CAD drafter, he's not bad at CAD, but he's definitely slower than me. I definitely think he was, in some levels, a spoiled Nepo baby. Why do I say that? Because he basically started the company with money he inherited when his father died. He, inherited, $500,000 when his father died. And that's what he used to start the company. But it's like, who starts a construction company and has absolutely no idea how construction works? How to even, literally frame a wall? Hey, Jam. There's a rock? Where is the rock? I don't see a rock. Who honestly does that? What kind of sociopath does that? I'm gonna start a construction company in New York City, of all places, but I don't know anything about construction, and I've never built anything in my whole life. It's just madness, if you ask me. But yeah, that was my last boss. That was my last boss. And I am glad I don't work there anymore. Because aside from the fact that my boss gave me anxiety, which I'm not an anxiety-prone person, but my boss gave me major anxiety. And let me give you a valuable piece of life advice, Pizza. When you get out into the workforce and you finally start working a job, do not tell yourself, "I don't like my job, but I like my coworkers, so I will stay." That is one of the worst things you can ever tell yourself. And I did that to myself. I did that I basically gaslit myself for 3 years, saying, "I like my work environment except for my boss, so I think I'll stay." Meanwhile, I went 2 years without getting a raise. Meanwhile, cost of living was going up every year, but not my paycheck. So my best advice for you is, do not convince yourself to stay at someplace just because you like the people who work there. They are work friends, and unless you are hanging out with them regularly outside of work, they are not real friends. They are work friends. They are work acquaintances. Do not base your career off of work acquaintances. That's good. Balatro really fun. I haven't played in a while, though. I burnt myself out on Balatro because I bought it on my phone and I was playing all the time, and then now I can't look at it for a little bit. But yeah. Never ever base your career moves on people who are not directly affected by your life choices. I have not gotten an E run yet, if I'm being honest. I think I don't have enough cards unlocked. is? Oh, that's... I know what that is. So yeah. My gaslighting of myself was, in hindsight, not very good. So I strongly encourage you not to do what I did. Because I could have probably gotten a better job if I wasn't so afraid of, being rejected. Don't be afraid to be rejected. Actually, I don't want to do that. I want to actually block cut this. But yeah, so... when I finally had the courage to say I'm worth more than this, even though I love the people that I worked with, except for my boss, it was game-changing. If you weren't afraid... but you said you're not interested in people long enough. Look, bro, I say ask them out. Though you're in a bit of a different situation, because you are still in high school. You don't have to be interested in people to ask them out, but you do have to be interested in people to stay in a relationship with them. That's not good, Jam. You should be comfortable asking people out to hang out. I mean, this is also coming from me, who I actually have no friends in the local area that I would hang out with regularly. Actually, that's not true. I would hang out with the one co-worker that I knew from college. But, yeah, I really don't have that many friends that I hang out with regularly. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't like going out. And those friends like going out. That's just not my vibe at all. Not a fan. I like being indoors. Or by my... not necessarily indoors. I like being by myself. Or with my husband. And that's kind of it. And my cat. The Latino skin, huh? It's too early for you to be yelling, cat. It's only 8 o'clock. Oh no. Oh no. That's the right window. That's the right window. Okay. Hey Luna, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. Today is a work and chat day for me because I have a deadline that was really supposed to be earlier this week that I need to push out. Feeling like garbage? Why are you feeling like garbage? Okay, we're almost there. I need to fix this. And I need to add some fake glazing on the windows. You're feeling pressure by work on your personal projects? I feel you. That's kind of why I'm doing a work day today. Like I said, this was supposed to be something that I had submitted either Monday or Tuesday, and I did not finish it. But it needs to happen because my client needs to have 2 weeks to look at it before I can submit it to the board. The planning board for the town. Essentially, we're taking a house that was built like... This house was originally just like a small cottage. A one-room cottage that had a legal extension added to it. So think like a cottage that's like, I don't know, like 15 feet wide by like 30 feet cottage with like an A-frame roof. Really nice, really pretty cathedral ceiling. It was originally just like a hunting cottage. And they added 2 bedrooms off to the north side of the house, legally. And then there was a porch on the south side of the house that they illegally turned into a kitchen and a dining room. And then added another porch to the off the dining room. And then illegally added a second story with another 2 bedrooms and another very illegal bathroom. So essentially, this house is a hodgepodge mess. It's not a cottage in the woods in the typical sense. It's actually a lakeside cottage. So I guess it was more like a fishing cottage. But yeah, so the house has a lot of things about it that are built incorrectly and or illegal. And, yeah, it's not good. So my job is to essentially make the house look more uniform, because it looked like people were just slapping different things onto the original house, like a bunch of Legos attached to the house. So if you can imagine it, this entire section of the house doesn't currently exist. Where basically there was an upstairs section where you entered from. Then you went down a set of stairs, and this is like the main cottage. And then there was another set of stairs where you'd go up into the extension that they put over the house. And we're basically building an entire second floor addition to connect those 2 areas, because it's actually asinine how it was built. But because we are technically adding a floor onto the house, it has to go through the town planning review team to basically tell us, yeah, you can do this. It's a whole 3-month process of bullshit. But yeah, we're working on it. It's happening. Alright, I need to select windows. But yeah, this is a really fun project. Mostly because I like the client's aesthetic. I like mid-century modern and Scandinavian modern design. There's some really fun house designs with that. And this client is very much that vibe. Okay, that's all our windows. Uh-oh. Your brain is a little fried? Totally get it. Your brain is a little friend? I think you meant fried, but you did type friend. Your brain is a little friend. Alright, let's add some glare to this. Not a bevel. Actually, we could do a bevel. I want to do... Let's actually edit that again. You've been doing less work? When do you end school? June 4th? That's early. That's good. Before the pandemic was like May 9th? Yeah, I could see that. You kind of got lose snow days, right? Okay, there we go. Now I need to just get rid of this shit. No, I don't like adding the texture. Let's add... Only good is the start time? What do you mean? This doesn't work. (8:20), but we're supposed to get there at 8 since 8:20 is when we're supposed to be in class. Dude, I feel like you start so late. We had to be at school at 7 a.m. My bus would pick me up at like 6:55. 6:55. The bus would pick me up, and I would be at the school usually by 7:15, 7:20-ish. Hey, Sonic. And basically, like, then we'd be in our homerooms by 7:30, and then after that, after like announcements, 7:34 was when the bell would ring, and then we would go to class. 5:45 a.m. Oh my god. Gleam stream? Oh, flame stream. Okay. Okay, I like how these windows looks. I need to get this. I gotta copy these lines. Oh no, they don't match perfectly, do they? Oh, it's close enough. It's close enough. I can make this work. I can make this work. I can make this work. Perfect. We did it. Mission accomplished. Now I just need to trim out this. And trim out this. Hold on, hold on. I was typing in Korean Flame, so I had to readjust to English somewhat. That's not even the worst part. To use the bathroom every day, it held until it got home. Oh, I was the same way, Pizza. Okay, so I would say this is probably one of the weirder things about me. I have this, like... I have this peculiarity about me that I really dislike using public bathrooms. There's something about it, like... It takes my brain a while to be like, okay, I can use this bathroom. I'm comfortable in this bathroom. So, like, the work bathroom, the bathroom at my job, it's not my home bathroom, and by all accounts, it technically counts as a public bathroom, but I've gotten comfortable using it, and I'm like, this is a comfortable bathroom. You know, this is a familiar bathroom. But, oh my god, when I was in school, I would never ask to go to the bathroom during school. I would never, ever ask to go to the bathroom during school. There were very, very rare occasions where I would ask. I'd have to be, like, desperate. I'd have to be literally desperate. And, like, it's a little bit different for girls, and that's kind of the excuse I tell myself. Because, like, girls have to sit down for 1 and 2. Whereas guys only have to sit down for 2. Unless they want to sit down for 1, which some guys do. But my point is, like, for me, it's just like, I don't know if it's a hygiene thing or just like, I don't know what it is. Because I'm not a germaphobe. So it never really made sense to me why I was like that, but I am. And, yeah, so public bathrooms, I avoid them like the plague unless I am literally dying. The only time I can, like, mentally trick myself to be like, okay, you need to use the public bathroom is when I'm at, like, an amusement park or something. Because I know I'm gonna be there all day, and there's no other choice but to use the public bathroom. No math today. We're just doing renderings today. I'm actually doing some work today because I have to finish this today. I have to. I have to. But yeah, that's kind of like my complex, I would say. I mean, even still though, like, so I can hold my bladder pretty well, but usually at an amusement park, you're there all day for like an extended period of time. And then on top of being there all day, it's likely that it's warm outside because you don't usually go to the amusement park when it's like winter because they're closed. So it's usually warm outside and you're drinking a lot. You're walking a lot, you're drinking a lot. So you inevitably have to go to the bathroom. At some point you're eating something sizable. But when I was in school, because you get out at, you get out at 2:45, you get home by 3:30, because I didn't really do extracurricular things. So I was always like, I can hold my bladder till I go home. There were, like I said, few occasions where I could not, where I would go to the bathroom if I really had to, but like I maybe saw, in my entire school career, I maybe saw the bathroom like 100 times. And that's like cumulative, not just like 1 year. I really tried to avoid the school bathrooms. That's also it. Like, school bathrooms, kids are gross. Alright. What did I see? Vesp, I told Flame the same amount of cash I spent on Avex. How do I deal with his disappointment? Oh, kids smoke in your school bathrooms? We only had that issue in one bathroom in high school. It was a second floor bathroom. Because that was the only one that had like a good window with a draft. The urinals aren't high enough. I totally understand that, being that you are a 6'3" gentleman or 6'2" gentleman. Sonic, how much money have you spent on Apex? Because if I'm being completely honest with you, Flame and I have spent exactly $0 on Apex, despite the fact that we've played it pretty much since launch. In my opinion, games where first of all, I hate microtransactions, and everyone should hate microtransactions. But in my opinion, any game that just to get a cosmetic, you're looking to spend upwards of $15 per item is just ass to me. Absolute ass to me. I cannot fathom that in my mind, spending that money. When League of Legends comes out with skins, I very, very rarely buy the skin at retail. I almost always wait for it to go on sale unless it's like a hyper event skin and I gotta have it, which is extremely rare. So you spent $700 in one shot, or is that like how much you've spent on Apex in totality? Because if you spent that much in one shot, you're actually insane. Okay, in total, I would say it's a little disappointing that you spent that much money, but I totally can understand over several years spending that kind of money. And let me tell you, Flame is not one to criticize you because I know how much money that man has spent on League of Legends and on MapleStory. I actually haven't spent that much money on Steam. Yeah, if you're saying you've spent $700 over, I think Apex has been around for a little over 5 years now, that's not that bad. It's expensive. It's averaging more than $100 a year, but I wouldn't say that's like a whale status kind of thing. Okay, 3 years for pizza. Yeah, I know you can see how much money you spent on Steam. Like, I think I've probably spent $700 on League of Legends, but that's over the course of 12 years of playing that game. So I don't consider that all that much when you consider that. My logic is this. When it comes to games that are I mean, Sonic, unless you're in a Masters, Grandmasters, or a Predator tier, I don't consider anyone good. I don't consider myself good. You're a master? Okay, then you are good at the game. Then you are good at the game. I will admit that you are good at the game. I didn't know you were masters. But my policy on, like, spending money on games is... I think of things in terms of... in two ways. I think of things in two ways. What does that money equate to in a different form? One, and I'll give you an explanation of that. And two, I compare it to the cost of WoW. I compare it to the cost of WoW. So I believe WoW is $15 a month. So in a year, a WoW subscription is $180. So, in my mind, if you play a game a significant amount, so if Apex is like your game and that is the only game you really play and you play that game like pretty religiously, you spend, as long as you're spending less than or equal to this a year, I think you're okay. I treat it as if it's a subscription-based game. That's how I reason for that. If you're spending more than this, that's not okay. That's a lot of arrows, Sonic. So you do definitely like Apex. But yeah, so that's how I reason spending and games. So, for example, in League of Legends, I would say, not on an annual basis, but like maybe on a 1.5 year basis, I give myself $100 RP charge. And that is the amount of RP I can have on the account for at least a year, and that's it. I cannot spend more than that. I limit myself like that. That's how I keep my spending in control. I don't need things. It trains me to only wait for skins that I really, really must have when they're on sale, and you can usually get them for 50% off or less. And you get more bang for your buck in the end, as long as you're not desperate for something. But the other way I look at it, Pizza, is like, and Sonic, it's a cosmetic. It's just there to be pretty. If you're there to play the game, then things that look pretty shouldn't really matter. That's why I haven't spent any money on Apex, because like I don't play that game religiously. In my opinion, the Apex stuff is too expensive and it doesn't go on sale long enough or for low enough for me to justify spending on it. And in my opinion, as much as people trash League of Legends, they do a much better job of balancing their game than Apex does. I don't have to worry about cheaters in League. I don't have to worry about really, really broken mechanics changing frequently. Only in the beginning of the season are things kind of wonky. So that's how I discipline myself. But back to like the first point where I said I always think of things in terms of how they are they would be looked at in terms of another object. So for example, I look at, okay, me spending $100 on RP. How do I value that? That is 6 lunches. 6 nice lunches. Or 10 cheap lunches. That's a really nice date with my husband. That's me buying potentially like 4 or 5 new games. That's I look at it in different ways, and that's how I kind of justify, is it worth it? And I do this for a lot of things. So, like, if I'm looking for, like... I like window shop or online shop a lot, but not actually buying things, just looking. So I've gone to a dress store website and put, like, 10 things in my cart. And I'll look at it and I'm like, okay, this cart is now $300. Is it worth me spending $300? Do I need this? Or do I want this? How bad do I want this? And just by that process, I can eliminate things from my cart. I don't necessarily need this, but I do want these items. Then just 10 items has now dropped 4 items. Then I will leave the cart overnight. And I'll look at it again tomorrow if I remember to even look at it. And if I look at it again, I say, yeah, I still really want this. I need this. Then I'll purchase it. But if I forget about it, then it wasn't that important to begin with. And that's it. I didn't spend $300+ on useless stuff. You've heard of League of Legends but never played it? League of Legends was the first really competitive game I picked up when Halo died. When Halo Reach died, because Halo 4 sucked. When Halo Reach died, I was looking for another competitive game. I had just started college, and I met my one of my college best friends, and he introduced me to League. I was super against League because in high school, I had only played Dota. And I was like, Dota's better. Dota's the original. So I didn't want to play League because it was a copycat. And then my friend's like, I play League. And he's like, do you want to try? And I saw Teemo, and then it was over. And then I started playing League, and I was a Teemo main for the first, like, 2 years that I played that game. Did I hear about the Apex update? What's the update? I did not. It's just a click to me. I do have a limit what I spend, but it's not as much as a priority to me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for you, if you have thousands of hours in the game, then I totally think it's justifiable for you to spend money on a game, especially if it's a free-to-play game and you didn't have to pay anything to obtain the game. And again, the way I look at it is it cheaper than a WoW subscription, what you've spent year over year? A WoW subscription is $180 a year. So as long as you're not spending more than that by too much of a margin, like, I think you're fine. And the other way I look at it is, again, what I say, like, I use comparative things. And that's how I justify whether a subscription is worth it or not. For me, a WoW subscription is not worth it. I don't like the game. I would never really want to play the game. If I did play the game, I play it for like a month or two and then be bored. Is that $15 worth it for Genshin Impact? When I was in Genshin Impact, it was worth it. So I played for the monthly little, like, Primo Gem package. And that was fine for me. It was worth it to me. On my birthday, I splurged. And then I got sick of the game. But for me, like, can you justify the subscription? Does it bring enough value to you? Does that $15 you're spending per month on a subscription or on Apex points or coins or on League of Legends Riot points, is that equivalent to you going to the movies once? Does the game bring you more joy than that? Then it's worth it, if you can afford it. I got kid taxes, gotta avoid. You don't make any money right now, Visa, so I totally understand you not spending a lot. I buy so much shit online, it's not even funny, mostly manga. 18 plus or just suppose they're adding climate rock slides and new engine. Ooh, I mean, the game is built on, what did they say? 24-bit servers? Like, it's pretty shit. It wasn't even supposed to be as big of a game that it is. But yeah, so that's how I, like, reason and justify spending. I mean, it does take a lot to be disciplined too, but for me, it's mostly reasoning things out. Am I gonna use this? My one weakness, however, I will honestly admit it, is fabric right now. It's fabric. I did not get a chance to set up my my extra camera. I couldn't find it. I have to go look for it. I have a second camera that I gotta set up on my PC so that I could do a sewing stream. But I do want to start sewing like pillows and small things, and if I'm feeling really ambitious, I will try to do clothes and apparel too. But I like sewing, and I like fabric. Fabric is my weakness. So what I'm saying is I can send you a few bucks? I mean, bro, I have a house to fix, so no. But, okay. I was thinking, if I get this raise, I do want to do like a fun stream if I get this raid. You love fabric? You have a sewing machine, it's a personal hobby of mine that you love? Really? I would not have guessed that, Sonic. Yeah, I've been obsessed with fabric recently. Like, when I get my other camera shut up, I'll show you my stash. So the other reason I'm kind of obsessed with fabric right now is in the US, Joann's Fabric went bankrupt a few months ago. So all of the Joann's, like, there's like 500 Joann stores or something, like 300 of them are closing. Very few of them are staying open. So I have this really bad habit of going to, even before Joann's was bankrupt, I had a bad habit of going to Joann's and looking through the remnant rack for, so if you don't know what remnant is when they cut fabric, it comes on either a roll or something called a bolt, which is like a cardboard centerpiece, and they just wrap the fabric around it 100 times. So when it gets to like the end of that fabric, and it's like not enough yardage for someone to do a big project, it's usually when it's like a yard or less, or maybe I would say like 2 yards or less. They'll fold it up and they'll mark it down for like 50 to 70% off of what the yard price is normally, because most people aren't gonna buy less than a yard of material. So they will mark it down because they know that's the best way of getting rid of it. So I would raid the remnant rack and buy a bunch of pieces, and they're like, what can I do with this? I don't know, but I love this fabric. Hey, BB. Alright, calm down with the threats over here. Anyway, so with Joann's Fabric closing, most of the fabric and, well, everything in their store is discounted at least 40%. And the one near me closed back in, I think January it closed. And I got a bunch of really, really nice high quality. When I say like high quality, you're talking like this stuff retails for $30 a square foot. I mean, a yard. Normally, I got it for like 70% off. So I got a bunch of fabric for like dirt cheap. And it's mostly upholstery fabric because I want to make pillows and stuff. But yeah. So I have a stash of fabric now. I do have some fabrics for like clothes and stuff, but my stash of fabrics is mostly for making pillows and upholstery things. But yeah, that is my weakness right now. Buy my fabric direct from China? I mean, yes, that sounds great, but I have nowhere to put 100 yards of fabric, bro. If I had a place to put 100 yards of fabric, I would do that. But, and besides, what am I using 100 yards for? I'd have to make like 200 plus pillows. Or like gowns to use that much fabric. So I'm good with the fabric stash that I have right now. But I'll be honest, I went to a Joann's Fabric that's about 45 minutes away from my house, so in another town, because that one is also closing, and I got really lucky there. I got so lucky there on Saturday. for multiple reasons. It was probably one of the best trips to Joann's Fabrics I've ever had. They had more hypoallergenic pillow inserts, so I bought those. So now I have a bunch of pillow inserts, and I can make a bunch of pillows and give them away as gifts and stuff. And then I had seen on Reddit, somebody made a dress out of this really beautiful brocade fabric. It was like a pale pink with gold, like, vines and pink flowers on it. It was beautiful. And she's like, I know I got the fabric from Joann's, but I can't remember what the name of the fabric was. I scoured the Joann's fabric website, could not find the fabric. I went to the store on a whim this Saturday, and they had 2.5 yards of that material left on the bolt, and it was the only one left, and I bought all of it. I was like, this is mine. It must be fate. I need this. Alright, bye, Sonic. Enjoy! Oh, that's a shitty way to start your day in ranked. Jesus. Well, at least you get loss prevention. That's good. And then, okay, one of my other dreams with fabric, and this is what I say, it's like, this is my weird little obsession and my weakness when it comes to spending. I have always wanted to buy non-stretch velvet. I sound like a very old lady? Maybe. I like making things. So, my brother is big on woodwork and like painting. I like beads and fabric and drawing, but beads and fabric. And my sister likes papercraft. See, Rose, you are a kindred spirit for me. I am also really upset about the private equity that bankrupted Joann's. There are no other fabric stores like Joann's Fabric, or like big box stores. Michael's doesn't carry enough fabric. They really only carry quilting material. And same thing with Hobby Lobby. Those two big boxes don't carry premium quality fabrics like upholstery fabrics and velvets and satins and fleeces and furs. They don't carry that stuff. I know you don't mean to be mean, Pizza. I understand. I don't think you've ever intentionally been mean to me, ever. But, yeah, so I'm also really upset that the corporate greed has basically bankrupted, Joann's Fabric. It's very upsetting. Because now, if I want to get fabric, after the Joann's around me, the other Joann's, there's 3... Okay, so the one in my town is gone. The one in my hometown where my parents are, I'm actually going to go see that on Saturday this weekend when I go visit for Easter. That one's closing. The one that's 45 minutes to the east of me will be closing in a month. That's the one I went to this past weekend. The one that's 45 minutes south of me had nothing when I went. It was already, like, stripped clean. And the rest of the stuff that they had wasn't on enough discount for me to consider purchasing it. So I'll probably go back there in a couple weeks or so when they're closer to closing. Yeah, so for me, Rose, the closest place that I really can go is New York City, which is 4 hours away from where I live. It's something that I have to plan out way in advance because that's the only way I'm gonna go to I'm gonna be able to find a garment district. Oh, that's sweet, Pizza. Pizza says that you are his favorite chatter, Rose. But yeah, I'm really upset by the whole scenario as well with the way they handled all of that. It's really, really unfortunate. That's why I've kind of been obsessed for the past couple months with just grabbing as much fabric that I can on steep discounts. because once Joann's is gone, I'm not gonna be able to buy fabric easily at all. Because Michael's doesn't have anything that I want. They're only, like, quilting fabrics. And, the nearest Hobby Lobby is 45 minutes away. I wholeheartedly get where you're coming from, Pisa. I would say New York City is great for visiting. It's great for visiting, but it's not great for staying. What do I use Oh, hi, Blaze. What do I use fabric for? So, I am a very, very amateur seamstress. Very amateur. But I do like to sew pillows. Like, pillows are my favorite thing to sew. I did a lot of that back in, like, college. I would go to, like, Etsy or, Redbubble or websites that do, like, print for you kind of, pillow covers. And I would order, like, a fun print of a game character or something. I did one with, One Punch Man. His famous quote for my ex, because my ex was a huge fan of One Punch Man, was, 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 squats or whatever, every day. That was, like, the quote. So I got a canvas pillowcase made on Redbubble that had that quote, and I unstitched the seam on it so I could make 2 pillows, and I put fur on the back, like fuzzy material on the back of them, so that I had 2 pillows rather than just 1 pillow, and that you had a side of it that wasn't, like, coarse, that you could lay on, that was nice and soft. Yeah, but that's the thing that sucks, Rose, about looking online for quality fabric. You can't feel it. For me, texture is so important. I need to be able to feel the fabric, and if I can't feel it, why would I buy it? Like, especially for something that's gonna be on my skin, like a pillow, or if I'm buying dress material or clothing material, I don't want something that's gonna be itchy or stiff or coarse. I have to be able to feel the fabric. All of the fabrics that I purchased when I was raiding Joann's, they're all soft upholstery fabrics, meant for pillows and chairs and things like that, and like blankets. So if I can't feel it, buying it online is so hard for me. Hi, Bert. Welcome. Never mind, you don't really care about the rats. Believe it or not, like, and I can tell you this from experience, just walking around in New York City, you will not encounter a lot of rats in close proximity. Where you will see the rats the most is in the subway, by the tracks. They live near and under the tracks. That's where they live. You don't often see them in the street. It's too busy for them. So you'll often find them down in alleys, but how often are you walking down alleys? Not very. And in the subway system. That's where you'll see the rats and the roaches. You finally sobered up. Why were you drinking, Bert? What the fuck? Want to help you? I'm gonna drag you down if you're masters. That's a really good idea, Rose. The thing is, like, fabric companies now, they charge like $3 for samples, and sometimes more if it's a really fancy sample. But for now, I've kind of like, I've basically, because when you buy like remnants or things from Joann's, they come with like tags on them. So right now I have like, I know I like chenille fabric, and I like suedes and micro suedes and velvets. Those are like my favorite. And those I would be willing to buy. Actually, velvet not so much, because velvets come in so many different qualities. You can get really stiff velvets, and I don't like those. I like the really plush ones. But yeah, that, like, capitalism go burr. Samples are free by you? I wish they were free here. Then get Flame to join, he'll pick the pace up. I mean, you could play with him. Offer is off the table? That was fast. But yeah, so that's my current obsession. My current obsession is fabric. Until all of the Joann's fabrics around me within like a reasonable drive distance, and by reasonable drive distance I would say like an hour and a half, are gone, I will be purchasing fabrics. Fabricland. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't have a lot of like independent fabric stores around here unless you're in like a really big city like New York City or Dallas or LA. Like if you go to New York City, there's Mood Fabrics. You'll find like Chinese fabric stores and Middle Eastern fabric stores up the wazoo in the garment district. You'll find fabric stores that are selling things for $3 a yard or less that are like nice quality fabrics. It's just like the place to be. But when I go down to visit my family on Long Island, that's an hour and a half trip into the city to get to the garment district. So it's like a whole day trip. It's not a quick in and out. You went to your Irish friend's house? Yeah, but the problem is, BB, you are a consenting legal adult. Birch is like 13. 14. He just turned 14. Oh, communion. Interesting. Okay. You're not drunk if it's communion. That's like a sip of wine. You got drunk on church? Oh my god. Well, that's the actual ceremony of communion. If you're doing... It's considered communion or the Eucharist. Catholic churches do it typically once a month. And it's usually the first or the last Sunday of the month. Whereas, sorry, Catholic churches will do it every Sunday. Christian churches will do it once a month, either the first or the last Sunday of the month. But it varies church to church. The shit had a kick to it, then I don't know where he's getting that powerful wine. I want to change the front door. Front door should be a nice color. What color do we want it? We want it like a... I want it like a dark green. A nice dark green. Ooh, that's too saturated. That's very intensive wine. A little bit darker. Somewhere like that. Yeah, that's better. Do you guys remember the last time you went to church? I went to church, for Christmas Mass with my grandma, because my grandma and my grandfather used to go to church quite a lot, but when my grandfather passed away, there was... Rather, before my grandfather passed away, like 15, 20 years ago, he got really upset with the Catholic Church because of all the scandal that had come out about, like, priests abusing children and things like that. So he's like, we're no longer supporting the church. Blah. And, which is a totally valid reason to not support the church. So he's like, we're not going to support the church anymore. And now that my grandfather's gone, my grandma's like, I want to get connected with the church again and community. Because, like, she lives alone. She doesn't have my grandpa anymore, so I totally understand her wanting to find community again. So she's like, I want to go to church again. And I said, I'll go with you. And, yeah, that's what I did. I went to church with her. Because that's what a good granddaughter does. You'll go with Gram. I enjoyed it. It wasn't, like, I don't have an aversion to church like my sister does. My sister hates church. Like, oh my god. It's like calamity for her. She hates church so much. But me, I don't mind church all that much. I wouldn't call myself a super devout person, but I think the concept of church is interesting if it's not like, oh my god, why is the stroke 20 points? Two is too much. One is too much. You dislike church when I was younger, a little annoying last time I went, but I do enjoy going. I mean, for me, it depends on, like, what the church is about. Wanted to go, but I went to the gym. Night, Bert. You had to stand for 3 hours after school? Why? It was a decade ago, and basically my father had to drag my mom out before she threw hands with the priest under the house. Oh my god, Rose. Well, this is your downtime. Your time when you're talking to me and my brother. They did it in the parking lot. Wow, that is a lot of people. I used to go to church quite frequently with my ex because his family was super devout. Even though I myself don't consider myself all that devout. No, it was not Ash Wednesday today. Ash Wednesday was like over a month ago, bud. But yeah, I would go to church with his family pretty frequently. But again, I wouldn't consider myself super devout. It's just, it felt like the right thing to do when being part of a family like that. Or, you know, dating someone who is a family like that. Yeah, church, Lent, and it ends on Easter, which is soon. It is this weekend. Speaking of which, I will not be streaming this weekend and Friday. I forgot to warn everybody. Tomorrow is my last stream for the week because I will be traveling Friday and I will be at my parents' house Saturday and Sunday. So, apologies in advance. Yeah, I mean, well, he doesn't have to travel on Friday, so yes, he will be streaming. Maybe he'll change his stream from a Minecraft stream, but I will not be streaming on Friday. I mean, I'm playing tomorrow. But for Minecraft, I will not be playing. I will not be here. Because it is a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive to get to my parents' house. But we usually stop for food. Because food is good. Yeah, he probably forgot that it was Easter. If I'm being honest, I forgot it was Easter. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stream Minecraft on Friday, and I'm gonna do this on Saturday, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm not even here. So, I too have forgotten. Do not blame him. You can eat. Do you normally practice during Lent? I'll be honest, I've been pretty bad the past few years. I have not given up anything for Lent, nor have I practiced for Lent. My father, surprisingly, for the fact that we don't really go to church, every year he gives up alcohol for Lent, and he's very, very strict about not eating meat on Fridays, which is so interesting to me. It's like he's selective about what he likes, what he, like, is religious about. I find it interesting. It's funny to me. Yeah, that's the thing. I pretty frequently also forget, so I totally feel you. I've done it before too. I've forgotten. Or it would be like something where I'm eating something and I don't even realize that there's non-fish protein in there. Like, I've done that before. Like, I go and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a bowl of ramen. Then I realize, like, oh, the ramen comes with pork. Or something like that. I'm like, shit. I'm not gonna leave the pork. Alright, we're almost there with this rendering stuff. I think this is the last thing I've got to fix. I think everything else is looking pretty good. Oh, I gotta do this door. I used to be like really good about it, like I said, Rose, but as I've lived more by myself, and my husband is not in any way Catholic. He was raised in a Christian household, and he's not devout in any sense of the word. He didn't celebrate Lent the way we did, because they don't in Christian church. So I've lost the habit. That's good that you want to do that, Pisa. But honestly, like, for me, I think the best way you could give back to your community is to, like, for me, in my opinion, is to participate at a soup kitchen is a really big way. Another way is to volunteer for, like, park cleanups and things like that. And then the third big way for me that I see as, like, really helping your community is helping the animal shelters. I'm a big proponent of animal shelters. And blood drives. Blood drives are very important too. You can't participate. Why can't you participate? You have to be 16 and you're not old enough yet. That's fair. I, unfortunately was never allowed to participate in the blood drives at school. Oh, that stinks that you're 3 weeks away from 16 and that you can't participate in the blood drive. I was never allowed to participate when I was of legal age to participate because in high school and in college, I was underweight the whole time and they won't let you donate blood if you're underweight. So I was never permitted to donate. Which is unfortunate because I am O positive, which is the universal donor, and they could have really used my blood. I will probably be on in an hour. No, I totally get that it's dangerous. I mean, when I get my blood drawn for, like, medical reasons, you know, for blood tests and stuff, I'm freaking shot afterwards. So I totally get why they're being cautious, and I'm not faulting them for being cautious at all. Being underweight only exacerbates the fatigue you feel after getting blood drawn. So I totally understand why they did not let me donate. And I just, like... When the community center across the street from me starts to do blood drives, I'm gonna probably sign up. You should probably figure out your blood type, though, bud. It's kind of important to know. Yeah, I'm O positive. I'm O positive. I am O positive, bud. You're at the age where you think you're invincible. That's true. Even if you don't donate, you can volunteer and help. That's 100% true. My cousin used to donate blood because sometimes they would give out Mets tickets, and he wanted the tickets, even though they were like nosebleed tickets. But he would do it, and then he would give us the tickets. He was really nice. You want to donate plasma? Plasma donations are interesting, but they're really time consuming. I think my brother did one recently. Yeah, I would definitely need the cookies and orange juice afterwards. I get very lightheaded from blood being drawn. Yeah, I think he did do a plasma one, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, check with him. He'll tell you. Yeah, he's also streaming tonight. He's streaming Kingdom Hearts tonight. Because that's what he streams on Wednesdays. Agua de fresca? I mean, go for it. I also have... I found this playlist recently, and it's like... It's really nice. I love this playlist. This playlist makes me happy. It's just super cute and chill. I'm glad that you watch both of us, though. For all of you guys, I really appreciate the ones that watch both... Well, I appreciate everybody, but I really, really appreciate the people who participate in both of our streams, because that means a lot to me. And I also am excited for you guys to see my sister when she starts streaming. She hasn't quite grasped it yet that there's actually people, like, eager for her to start streaming. And I'm really glad that you guys are so receptive to all of us. It's so late, you're gonna have to wait. Aww. No, go away. Go away, G-Force. Oh, okay. Then I was wrong. I was mistaken. I thought he had done a plasma donation before. You just want to be a better person? I mean, being a better person is how you choose to define it. For me, I like giving advice to people. I like helping people. And, like, honestly, just being kind every day. Being a nice person. Being pleasant to be around. That's what I strive to do. I like being, like, the upbeat persona that people... And it's not even a persona, it's who I am. I like being, you know, a little bit of sunshine for somebody. See, that's what confuses me about you, Pizza. You say that you're, like, not considerate of other people and all this stuff, but I have never got that notion from you in the months that we've talked. Empathy, I find, comes with age. The older I got, the kinder I got. Interesting. I can't say that's true for me. I think I've always been this kind of person. I think, for me, what came with age was more patience. Patience and, for me, it was patience and, what's the word? Damn it. Patience and the ability to let things be classified as c'est la vie for me. Or que sera, sera. Like, the mindset that you can't control everything and then some things will just be the way they are has really, like, shifted my perspective as an adult versus when I was a kid. I am so chill. And I'm sure that's why you guys stick around to my streams and my brother's streams, is because I'm so chill because I'm here for the ride, man. I know full well I can't control everything. Bad things are gonna happen. You just take them in strides. You can't control everything. You can't get mad at every person that you can't control. You can't make people think the way you want them to think. Like, and when I hit that point of realization, and I think it was like late college is when I really kind of hit that point of understanding. When I hit that point of understanding, everything else kind of melted away. Life became super easy. Oh, I wouldn't say easy, but like much less stressful. It was a lot easier to let, you know, bad things fall off and not be important. And I think my sister thinks I'm psychotic for it, but it's just, it is what it is. That's how I see things. You were a brat before pizza, but I mean, most kids were. If I see someone die because they choose drunk driving, I'm not gonna give a fuck. That's fair. I mean, it's still tragic that they let their life choose that path. But I see where you're coming from. I was able to relate more and not just be subjective about my experiences. I mean, I get where you're coming from, Pizza, about sympathy and stuff like that, because, like, someone who's actively choosing to do something that's toxic or bad for themselves, like, you can only you can only forgive someone so much for making bad choices. For me, like, the way I look at it is like, what has pushed that person to make that choice so readily? Are they in a bad place? Were they just being careless? You know, if it's coming from a place of, you know, they just lost their job, their wife is divorcing them, it's understandable why they would make a decision like that, but that doesn't necessarily make it a good decision. I mean, it's not a good decision. I've obtained wisdom that comes with age, and it's liberating for sure. Yeah, it's definitely liberating to not put so much weight on everything that happens in your life. It's extremely liberating, and it's something that I've tried to instill in my sister, but she's still a ways away from that. She's got some more growth to do there. She's like I said, she's the hot-headed one out of the three of us, for sure. 100%. And like, for example, during the pandemic, my brother chose not to get the vaccine, and while I disagreed with his decision, it's his decision. But my sister was freaking livid. She didn't talk to him for like a year and a half. Everything's copacetic now, but she did not talk to him for a very long time. And I can't blame her for that. I can't. Because he made a choice that was dangerous for our family, especially for my grandma in particular, and our aunts and uncles who are all in their 70s, you know? So I totally understand where she's coming from, but in my mind, I can't change my brother's decision, so I let it go. That's how I viewed it. I cannot change his decision, therefore I let it go. For her, that was a lot harder. That's 100% true, Blaze. A lot of people, it's the you don't know what a person is dealing with unless you walk a mile in their shoes thing. You don't know what they're dealing with. Someone could be looking like they have like the easiest life in the world, but that's not necessarily true. You only see so much of a person. Your dad guilted you into it, but you regret it. I had to take it or I would lose my job. And I was very hesitant, but, you know, at the end of the day, I took 2 of the shots. I got the first shot and I got the booster. I haven't gotten a booster since. And, what did I just do? That's a good point, Pizza. That's true. You never see someone. I think there are definitely people who are more aware of themselves than others, but that's true. Like, oftentimes you'll find people who are really good at giving advice but don't take the advice themselves. Like my brother, and him saying that sleep is good for you, but then doesn't actually do sleep himself. He literally has only started doing sleep himself the past, like, month, maybe? That's why I messaged in chat, pot kettle. Because I've been telling the doofus that he needs to fix his sleep schedule for literally ever. And he's like, nah, I'm fine, I'll just sleep more on the weekends. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You feel like crap at work because you have such a garbage sleep schedule. Yeah, and people have bad history. I have good parents, but a lot of people don't and had bad childhoods, have some serious trauma. Yeah, 100%, Blaze. 100%. I feel infinitely blessed for the family that my brother and sister and I have. We are not perfect. No family is. But when I look at my coworkers who have all had childhood trauma of some kind, or narcissistic parents, or abusive parents, it makes me feel even more grateful for the family that I was blessed with. Because we don't get along 100% of the time, but I guarantee you I'm closer to my siblings than a lot of people are to their own siblings. And I know that if I ever need my brother and sister, they will be here for me. Same thing with my dad and my mom. And like I said, we're not perfect by any means. I know my parents' flaws. I choose to accept their flaws because nobody is black and white. Everybody is a little bit gray. Various shades of it. You're a multifaceted person, and if you choose to judge someone by one facet of who they are, I think you're making a grave mistake. And when you live your life by that mantra, things become so much easier. You learn to appreciate people for who they are. If everyone put their troubles in a pile, it would probably take yours 100%, please. I agree with that. I think my problem of the problems I have are so minuscule compared to some other people. That's why I say, like, I live my life very, very chill. I let the bad things roll away because I know there are people who have it way worse than me. And I would happily take my problems over theirs. You can fix your sleep schedule? Would like to know the fun fact for you? Of course. You don't have any problems. That's a bold statement, sir. I mean, if you're living a good life, then that's great. I'm happy if that's what you're if you're living a what you consider a good life. You started saying, what do you consider late? That is context. Oh, that's late. That's fucking late. What the hell? That's a hella late, Pizza. Pizza, my boy. That's hella late for a third grader. What you doing? Then a ghost scared you? You believe in ghosts? What happened? I need to see how I did this. Okay, there's a trim piece above, trim piece on the side. What happened that you got so scared by a ghost? I'm very curious now. Making chocolate while watching TV and the life. Then I heard my sister's voice telling me to go to sleep. Never turned around so fast. How do you know it wasn't just your sister messing with you? You ran to her room and her door was locked. Yeah, I can see how that would be mildly terrifying. Only a little bit though, you know? Nothing too crazy. Nothing world-endingly terrifying. No, I'm kidding. That's a little creepy. Oh, closed and she was asleep. It was a peaceful sleep. Well, Definitely a little nerve-wracking for sure. I have not had any supernatural encounters in my life, as far as I'm aware. Oh, that's a little weird. Well, that's usually because there's a positive and negative current of wind in the house. That happens pretty frequently. In my current house, when the heat turns on and the bedroom door is open, it will slam shut. But it's usually because it's not fully opened. Yeah, but do you have heat ducts in that room? Because that'll also do it. It was summer. I don't know, man. Tis a mystery for sure. Uh-oh. Look at these little extra doodles over here. You seem to remember a lot of details about this. But yeah, I totally see why you'd be a little freaked out by something like that. I have not had a supernatural encounter. My coworker told me about the ghost in his house. My coworker told me, when he first bought his house, and he moved in, his husband hadn't moved in with him yet. Or rather, he still doesn't technically live at the house either. But he, when he first moved into the house, he was there for like the first maybe month or two, and he went to... I need to stretch this out. Oh, no, not scale. He, was in the... So, in his house... Think of it like literally a square. His house is literally a square. It's called a 4-square house. Meaning it's 40 feet by 40 feet. And he had, in one run, in a row of 40 feet, it was living room, dining room, kitchen. And there's these giant double doors in between that he always has open because they're pocket doors. He basically, like, was in the kitchen, and he turned around, and in the living room, he saw the ghost of the previous owner, who had actually, I believe, died in the house. And he felt like a cold rush of air, and the temperature of the room dropped. And, like, he said the ghost just kind of smiled at him and then disappeared. No, she died peacefully in the house. It wasn't like a murder or anything like that. But, I think it was a kind of cute story, honestly, because it's still a ghost. He says he has not seen the ghost since. What if she gets mad at you? I think the ghost had intended for him to have the house, if that makes any sense to you. Because they were selling the house before the woman died. She was like 80-something years old. And the kids were like, Mom, we have to sell the house. You're too old to like, to be living here by yourself. You know, it's too much house for you to take care of. The woman was... So the house was only ever owned by 2 families. The original people who built the house, and the house is well over 150 years old. The house is 150 years old, and it was originally built by a married couple that had no kids. So they had no heirs. And when they passed away, they left the house to their maid. Because that maid was basically, like, took care of them till they passed away. So they left the house to her, and she raised her family in that house. And basically what happened was, like, she died in the house that she lived in for most of her life. And, they wanted the house to go to another family that was going to cherish it the way that their family had. Because all her kids were, like, they were grown and they had moved on. They had their own houses and they didn't want to spend the time to restore the house. Because the house it's an old house. And the mother wasn't, like, wealthy by any means. So she didn't have the means to repair it for how old it was. And, you know, back then, construction was pretty good construction back then, and these people were wealthy. They had money, so they spent money on a lot of things. I mean, all of the rooms have 9.5-foot ceilings. You have huge 8-foot doors. Hi, Luna. Welcome back. So, like, it was a lot for her to take care of and for the kids to take on if they were to keep the house. So I totally get why they didn't. And, so yeah, they chose to sell the house, and they wanted the house to go to someone that was going to cherish it in the way that their family cherished it. And my coworker had dreamed of having a house that he could restore. You know, that he wanted a fixer-upper. He wanted a restoration project. So when they heard that, they're like, oh, he's the one that should have the house. And right before he went into right before, like, they accepted his offer, the woman who lived in the house, the mother, passed away. And they didn't hear anything from them for, like, 2 months. And then they suddenly came back and they're like, hey, we know that you were interested in this house. We'd still like to sell it to you. We did get another offer that was more than your offer, but we don't want that offer because it's from a person who wants to develop the house and turn it into apartments. And they're like, we don't want the house to lose the love that we've had for it. We want it to go to someone who's really going to cherish it. So they sold it to him instead. And I think that's really cute because I know my coworker will take good care of that house. And while he does have intentions of, like, Airbnb-ing parts of the house because it's such a big house, he could literally Airbnb an entire section of it and never encounter the person who is staying there. I don't think he has any intentions of mistreating the house, and that's why I think he was the right person to have that house. So I think the ghost was just kind of, like, acknowledging that they made the right choice on who should have the house. It's very cute. And he, like I said, he's never ever felt the presence of the ghost since that night. And he didn't feel any malicious energy or anything. But yeah, so his house is so cool, but I would never want to take that on as my first house project. In a million years, I would never want to take that house on. You've met a ghost, BB? Tell us your ghost story. I'm interested. I find ghost stories fun. But that's just me. If you're tripping on LSD, your story has immediately lost half of its credibility here. I don't know, Vivi. Tripping on LSD does not make for a plausible ghost story, in my opinion. But I guess if multiple people felt it, maybe it's true. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, now I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay, I'm finally done, I think. Yeah, I'm done. This looks good. This looks acceptable to me. It was multiple occasions. No AutoCAD today. No AutoCAD work today. This was previous AutoCAD work, but I needed to render it for the client, so I just added some simple color to it, that's all. Not trying to make it complicated. Didn't know the ghost was chill like that. Some ghosts are! I mean, if a ghost didn't die in a tragic or malicious way, I mean, I'm not gonna confirm or deny whether I believe in ghosts. I do believe there is something more than just us out there. I can't really say if I believe in ghosts necessarily. However, some ghosts are not malicious because they didn't die in malicious ways. The wafts at the cemetery don't attack people at 11? That's very specific. Yeah, just flat render. This is just for representation purposes. It's not meant to be, like, hyper shaded or anything like that. I could do that, but that would take me forever, and I don't want to do that. This is just to get... This is really for, it's for giving the board something that they can, giving the board something that they can, visualize for the house. Know it all? Interesting. Yeah, it's just to give the board of who's got to approve the house design changes something to visualize with. That's it. It's not meant to be, like, ultra-realistic. Client didn't pay for ultra-realistic. But I'm happy I'm done with this. You think ghosts are very real? I mean, they could be. I have never had an encounter that I would say justifies supernatural to me. But I'm not saying it's not possible. Alright, I'm done with what I'm working on for today. So I think I'm gonna end stream here today. You know, a pretty chill stream. Just talking and chatting. And doing some work. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. My ghost stories can all be considered mind playing tricks on you. We demand more sacrifices. Well, I'm sorry, Luna. I will be streaming tomorrow, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will not be streaming because of Easter weekend. That's so interesting, Rose. And bizarre. I'm kind of curious. I keep abandoning you? Hey! Hey, family comes first. Always and forever. You guys will be having Easter with your families, I presume, so... It's not gonna be that bad. Stop buying milk! Why milk? What's wrong with milk? What? Alright. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Aren't we family to you? Yes, you guys are, but you're not my blood family. My blood family. I must celebrate Easter with my blood family, which requires 4 hours of traveling in both directions. So unfortunately, I will not be streaming on Friday. Blood for the blood god. Alright. I will see you guys tomorrow if you guys want to hang out with us while we play Apex. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you the next time. Bye-bye!